Guys, my name is Michaela Frizzell, and I am currently one of the students in this class. The first question was, why did you choose to take this class, and what are you expecting to gain from it? So I took this class because it is a prerequisite for the nursing degree here at Clarkson College. A few of my friends have taken this class previously and said that the class was a good learning experience and that they recommended it. I am expecting to gain more insight on different cultures and how they perceive death. Next question, what are 1 to 3 topics you would like to cover during this semester? I want to know how children handle death and different ways on which parents tell their children about death. And I want to know different types of burials and how they relate to religion. I also want to know how death varies in different cultures. The next question was, what areas surrounding death cause you discomfort and anxiety? And what is your biggest fear related to death? So, when other people die or upset and frantic after their loved ones die, it kind of makes me really uncomfortable and anxious. So, I don't really know how to handle the situation, and I am working on being able to be more supportive in these types of situations and to say the right thing to the families. My biggest fear related to death is dying of disease and approaching death ill rather than being healthy and ready to die. Um, Next question. Have you been to any funerals? If so, approximately how many? So I've been roughly to, I think, about 5 or so. I don't really know for sure, but it was just a handful that I can remember. And what is your first memory of death? So my first memory of death was my grandma Judy. She was a family friend, and obviously I called her grandma for a reason. I was roughly 5 or 6 years old. I don't really remember being too upset about it, but whenever I was upset, I would look up to the sky and I would think that my grandma Judy was up in the sky, like thinking literally rather than, gosh, what's that word? Oh, we'll move on. Have you ever sat with someone while they died, personally or professionally? So I have sat with my dad when he died. It was definitely the worst experience of my life. He died of stage 4 cancer, which started in his colon and took over his liver and many other organs. It was definitely a terrible experience for me. And I think the worst part, honestly, was when he couldn't remember who I was when I was in the hospital with him. Um, Rank your level of death anxiety from 0 to 1, or 0 to 10. I'm sorry. I think my anxiety on death is probably about a 1. I don't feel anxious about death at all, and sometimes I wonder if like heaven is a real thing. Like I grew up religious, and I believe that heaven's a real thing, but I wonder if I'll be able to see like my loved ones up there. Do you or your family have any cultural or religious rules or taboos about exploring this topic? So my family is like a bunch of Irish Catholics, really, and so it's a big funeral. A lot of the times they get drunk afterwards. It's pretty bad, but they're very open to death and they want to talk about it like all the time. So it makes me a tad uncomfortable, especially when my mom tries to like hug me and she cries and she wants me to talk about death to her. Um, it just makes me uncomfortable. She likes to talk about death though. What is your life like outside of school? Well, I am happily married to my husband Teddy, and I have one cat named Mr. Bottomsley. I really love football. We actually have a fantasy football draft tonight, which explains his jersey, and then I'm wearing a Steelers shirt. Um, I really like to hang out with family and friends on the weekends, and then every couple days a week I work at the Olive Garden.